Dividing a decimal number by a whole number. For this example, we're going to use 1 and 75 hundredths divided by 25. So our number in the dividend spot here is 1 and 75 hundredths, and so we can see it does have a decimal in it. And what we're going to divide this by a whole number, by 25 wholes, or the number 25, which doesn't have a decimal in it, or the decimal could be at the end of it, but it doesn't have a decimal in it. So when we do this, this is pretty much like taking the number 1 whole here, and then our 75 hundredths here, and dividing this up into groups of 25. So if we do this correctly, we should get an answer that is smaller than what we start with, which is 1 and 75 hundredths. So let's go through the steps here, and you should have these on your organizer. The step 1 is we're going to bring the decimal point straight up. So we can locate the decimal point here, and I'm going to use an arrow, and you guys could follow along. But we're just going to come straight up, and the decimal point is going to stay in the same place where it was in the 1 and 75 hundredths part of our dividend. Now the next step, step 2, divide the equation. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to just, again, place our decimal right where it's supposed to be there. And then I'm going to start dividing 25 into this number. And remember, it says down there, do not move the decimal point to the right. There's no reason in this equation to move the decimal point down because we only have a decimal in the dividend, not in the divisor. So we can just start dividing from here. So first I'm going to start and see if 25 goes into 1. Well, I know 25 does not go into 1, so I can put a 0 at the top. 25 times 0 is 0. And then I'm going to subtract. When I subtract, I should get 1 here, and then I'm going to bring down the 7. So now 25 into 17, well 17 is smaller than 25, so 25 is not going to go into it, so I'm going to place a 0 there, and then multiply 25 times 0, which again will give me 0. I'm going to draw my line across and then subtract. Well, 7 minus 0 is here, 7, got 1 here. I've got 17 and I have to bring down the 5 on the other side. So I have 175 now at the bottom divided by 25. If we think about quarters, if we think about money, and any time that I see 5s at the end, 50s, 75s, 25s, I try to relate it to money because it's something that we see a lot, or if not every day. So I know 25 will go into 100 4 times. It's like 4 quarters going into $1. And then it'll go into 75 3 times. So 4 and 3 is 7. So 25 will go into 175 7 times. And if we multiply 25 times 7, we're going to get 175. So it actually goes in evenly here. When we subtract at the bottom, we're going to get 0 as we subtract all these. 5 minus 5 is 0, 7 minus 7 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0. Nothing to bring down, so the answer that I'm showing is 7 hundredths, or 0.07 here. And like I said, originally our answer, if we did it right, which I believe we did, is going to be smaller than what we started with, which is 1 and 75 hundredths. So remember to bring the decimal straight up if you're not dividing by a number with a decimal in it, and then just make sure you divide accurately.